Alright, so taking a look at this assignment, this was one that seemed to prove tricky for people. Starting here at the top, you got to write down what your ecosystem was. I'm actually going to do one of these for each of the different ecosystems you could have done. So I'm going to fill them in here at the top with what it is, and then I'll attach pictures of them on Google Classroom to make it easier for you. So here at the top, first ecosystem we're looking at is going to be the forest. So you had to write that part in. A lot of people skipped that. And when we look at our forest ecosystem, since you're going for an apex predator, you want something that's actually going to go 5 levels up. So you got to start at producers. In this case, that's going to be your green plants here. And since you're looking to go 5 levels up, we can go 1, or I'm sorry, that's 2. 1, 2, 3. And these guys jump all the way over to here, so that's not going to work. So we try this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a route that's going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. Okay, so you can see that that fills in pretty easy. Green plants, insects, spiders, toads, coyotes. You can just copy that down here for your food chain. Now here's the other thing that tripped people up. You got to write down this whole food web for the food web part at the bottom, including, like this one shows, the sun and the decomposers. You had to have every connection, all of these arrows. A lot of people just rewrote one particular food chain, so like right through here. That wasn't good enough. Okay, let's take a look at the next model. This is the taiga. This one tripped a few people up, in part because you actually couldn't go 5 levels on here. The max you could go was 4. Because if you go from berries to deer to wolverine to Arctic fox, that's 4. And there's no connection where we can actually go more than that. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that particular connection down, although there's more than one route you can go, as you can see as you look through here. This was one that confused people too. The great horned owl and the snakes are not connected. They both eat skunks. That's what's going on there. So that's what the taiga may look like. Okay, going on to our next ecosystem. I've got taiga again. Okay, the rainforest one. This was actually the easiest one to work with, but a lot of people found this one confusing as well. I think it's because it has the decomposers here at the bottom. You just start at either aquatic plants or terrestrial plants and move up the chain. On terrestrial plants, you go through 5 levels, no problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty easy. So let's go ahead and write that down on our worksheet. Okay, so in this model for rainforest, you can even see if you run out of space, just wrap it around the corner. Not a big deal. Tundra was another easy one. Start at any of these producers. It even says here at the bottom that those are producers. Go up to your primary consumers here, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, and then in this case, man was the apex predator. So that's a really easy one as well. The only key you had to remember here is to make sure that you actually followed the arrows. For example, if you got to brown bears, it stops. I saw people that wrote brown bears are then eaten by man or eaten by polar bears, and there is no connection there. A brown bear is an apex predator. It's just that it goes straight from grass to brown bear, or grass lemmings brown bear. So you had to kind of notice those cutoffs. The grassland was both the most challenging one because they weren't labeled, and the easiest one because it had a straight through 5 right there that was really easy to follow. Hopefully you're kind of getting a concept for these at this point, so I'm not going to keep filling out energy pyramid sheets. But for that one, and then of course for desert, desert was labeled, and again, there's an easy 5 route through here. You go bristlebush over the antelope squirrel, and then, oh actually that's 4, sorry, you'd have to go to the wood rat, and then across, go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the only 5 in there. You can see somebody used this. They made a couple circles. That's going to be your key. You just got to make sure you're actually following the arrows. If an arrow stops, for instance with this, the alfowl does not go up to the red-tailed hawk. The Gila woodpecker stops right here. It's a secondary consumer, but that is the top predator in that particular chain. So there is nothing else that goes through there. You have to make sure to watch for those break-offs. That's the key.